together. People that wouldn't normally spend no time with each other. No, I wouldn't look for you nowhere. I wouldn't come try to hang out with you. But here it is. We come to a place where it's dance and music that allows everybody to drop whatever their habits are, whatever they're part of in their everyday life, and put it behind, and you come out and you enjoy. You party, you dance good at your party, you dance, you vibing with people, you meet some of the most beautiful people. I met hella cool people here. You know, my first one was in 3 years ago.
Okay.
I came out here 3 years ago. I hadn't danced in 30 years. I took on another lifestyle.
Okay.
But I came home, I did 10 years. I came home, my little brother, his name is Darren. He asked me one day at his job, I was at his job hanging out. He said, "Bro, can you still get down?" I'm like, "Come on, man, once you got it, it don't go away. You might have to polish it up a little bit, right. Get in front of a mirror, and see what you got. But once you get it, it never go away." So I'm glad to be here at my age. I'm 50. I'm 50 years old. And from the time I started back dancing, coming to this, I mean, I met a lot of people, youngsters, and they look at me like the big homie now. They expect to see me. They expect to talk to me. They look forward to talking to me. And I enjoy sharing what I know, my knowledge, the wealth of knowledge I got. I started dancing in 1974. I grew up in this area, but not back here, but where the houses at. It's called West Oakland. They call it the Lower Bottom now. But I grew up in the projects. So we were poor, but we didn't know we was poor. And, you know, you can be poor and you don't know.
Right.
It depends on what's going on around you. So what was going on around us was dancing and music. James Brown, Confunction, Cameo, Barcades, Rick James. So once I got hip to what the funk was, and then I knew there was a beat that stayed on the one, boom, boom. I started dancing to my moves on the one. Boom, 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 boom. And it's natural. So to come out today and see from when I started dancing 36 years ago.
Wow.
See, yeah, 36 years ago. I started dancing 36 years ago. Actually,
that was longer than that.
40 years ago.
Yeah.
I started dancing 40 years ago. So, like I say, it's good to see the people from where I started to where they're at now. But a lot of them don't know the history.
Okay.
They don't know the history. The history of dancing in the Bay Area, and I believe for the rest of the country, is Boogalooing. You'll start hearing more and more and more about Boogalooing. Boogalooing came out in the early 60s. And used to do it at the parks. They had a park, Mosswood Park. They had the Temple, and we had cats that was in these groups called, such as the Black Messenger, the Black Resurgence, and the Black Mechanics. Nobody else was dancing like this in the country. You know, you might do some soul train dancing, but actually what we see today, or what we see from back then, what they're doing now, nobody was doing it. But right here in the Bay Area, the Bay Area is rich with old culture. You know, both of my parents were Panthers. So I come up in a good area. Even though we was poor, it was good still. It was still community. So when I come out of my house, I look for guys to go where they was dancing at. I look for where the music was at. Even though I was poor, I wasn't hopeless. So now to see it this 40 years later, and the people still doing it, I think dancing with the music is the best gift we could ever get from God. The music and the dancing gives you a peace, gives you a calm. But I dance, I robot. I robot. I robot. I don't know if you saw me.
Yeah, I saw you.
I robot. I pose. I dinosaur. I 3D. Different style. And it's amazing that these youngsters have never seen this. None of them. They don't even know what it is. And they ask me, "Oh, gee, what was that you just did?" I'm like, okay. So it made me feel good to share it with them. And over the last 3 years that I've been coming here, I'm starting to see them do it. They're doing it. So it's a blessing to see. Some of them, you know, some of them got it and some of them want to get it, but it's okay. It's okay. I tell some of them, I give them a few pointers. Don't go so hard at it. It's not a hard style. Actually, it's a smooth style with a little touch of class. I dress like this because it go along with what I represent. It's a smooth thing on the player tip.
So when you first started, who influenced you to start?
Actually, I'm looking at him right now. John Murphy. John Murphy, legendary in my town from the 60s. When I saw this brother on Facebook the other day, my wife was on Facebook. She said, "You know Poppin' Sam? No, not Poppin' Sam.
Just hold the button there.
You know Sir Pop-A-Lot."
Hey, hold on, Pop-A-Lot, get in there. Yeah. Hop in this real quick, let's get another one. Come on, while we're in the middle of the interview. Just hold up. You got it? You got it? I guess, I don't know. I'm not familiar with his camera. He just give it to me and go, yeah, you got it. You got it. Can you do one picture for me?
Oh yeah. I mean, you can put that in the archive now. Yeah.
That's it. There it is.
But the guy who influenced me the most, actually my best friend, his name was Walter Freeman. Right now he's a world-renowned choreographer. He lives in Germany, but he comes from the ghetto like I did. He used to come to me. He'd say, "Man, I learned this new dance today." So I'm like, "Show it to me." And I was when it's outside, I was somebody that was worth sharing this dance with. And he turned me out. He turned me out every day. But he went on to do greater things. I went to a criminal lifestyle.
Okay. So, did you like pioneer or make up any moves that's popular today?
Yeah.
What you call that one? The swoop?
This is John Murphy. This is my big brother. This is who I watched dance at the time.
John Murphy.
You gotta do a little tape recorder on me.
Yeah.
He doing the interview, John.
I do a little way with a National Hip Hop Parade.
Oh, John, man.
So when Boogaloo started here in Oakland, like, do you guys know who was the first person you saw doing Boogaloo?
Boogaloo, my brother.
Where he get it from, or where did you see it?
When I found out where he got it from James Brown.
So he got it from watching TV?
Yeah, he got it from James Brown. I didn't know nothing about James Brown. I seen him doing the dance and stuff, but I didn't know he got it from James Brown until I seen James Brown on TV. When I seen James Brown on TV, I said, "Damn, that's where he get no moves and stuff from." So I started doing what he was doing. I started off boogalooing, and then that was 1962, and then 1964, I started robot. I brought the robot to the East Oakland.
Where you get that? Was that coming from San Francisco at the time?
Oh no, the robot came from I watched. Have you ever watched the science fiction movie?
Yeah.
That's where I got it from. I got the robot from. A lot of these dances come off of characters from TV.
So you were the first one to pioneer the robot?
Yeah, robot. Nobody from Oakland was doing no robot.
Okay.
Yeah, when I came in.
Wow.
You talking to a living legend. Hey, 1971, the biggest talent show we ever had was this day.
1975.
That wasn't no 75. No, I'm talking about Haven Court.
Oh, Haven Court. 72.
72. That was 72?
72.
Oh, okay, 72.
72. They didn't start to 70. I know that.
This is true right here. And the first time they ever seen a robot was from me. John Murphy. They ain't robot, they step. Nobody gonna dispute that. Nobody of our age, from our generation, they used to step. Dispute that. I ain't gonna take nothing from them. They was a damn good stepper. He know that.
And solo artist as well. However, the first time they ever seen a robot routine, the Black Resurgence did a robot routine. They basically went in the whole routine with just the domino, wham, two down the line. Man, people were like, what? The maze was spit out.
Yeah.
And push dog was bam. That was in 1972. That was the first time a group robot and the style you see done on stage now with people doing the routine with robots. First time it was done, they did it. In Oakland, 1972. Now don't get it twisted. We was rivals from 72 till we left in 77. We signed a record contract in 77 as a dance group. They wanted to be in Oakland what the Soul Train or the lockers were in LA.
And what's your name?
My name is William Randolph, and I'm gonna take over John.
Yeah, they can't see.
Yeah, because I didn't take nothing from them because they was badass steppers.
And they was bad, and they was every Bay Area group that came stepping or doing robot stepping after 72, they got it from them. They took the robotic moves that we did in solo and put it into routine. Charles was in the ROTC, and they did writing and stuff. And so,
hold on. Wait, group picture, man.
All right.
And the baddest Boogaloo ever came from Oakland, California. Me. I was #1. Couldn't nobody mess with it. Nobody.
John versus bad stuff. Bad.
We don't want to tell you who he is.
He is the bad stuff.
Everybody was learning from him.
There's a group. Now John, in terms of, like I said, in terms of Boogaloo stepping, before the messages started, the Black Resurgence was already digging. And most of the Black Resurgence people don't even know. Because it didn't start with Larry Robertson and William Randolph, James Miller. It started with a fellow named Kenny Love when they got Butch Goosey, Cody Armstrong. Then he got James Miller, Robin Newsom, Dwight Elder, Larry Robertson, and me. Larry couldn't, not even Dwight Elder, Robin Newsom. Larry couldn't come to the first talent show audition, so Dwight Elder took his place. This was 1971. We performed in a record, performed a live band. The first band we ever had was called Soul System Band, 1971. Wasn't any, and back then, 1+1 had a group. Jerry Rente, the Worm, Albert Milton, Iron Man, Michael Enoch, Michael Sanders, and the lady you saw here earlier, Pat Scott. This was before his time.
Yeah, I didn't know them. They was Boogaloo. I came from the west, went to the east. I took the robot with me. That Boogaloo stuff? No, I ain't take that.
Now
John Boogaloo and then.
Right. Robot, that robot move, John got that. Matter of fact, he couldn't step back because it made him the mascot. Am I lying? In the Black Resurgence. Wasn't you the mascot for a while?
Oh, yeah, because that was in 70.
What? 3, 4?
No, that was 70.
Was it 72?
No, I wasn't mascot. I danced with him. That was in 70. When Wayne came in 76. 77.
We all graduated high school. Me, him, Chuck, Larry Robertson graduated high school together in 76. In 75, November, our high school class, was getting ready for our senior ball. We didn't have no money. The high school class didn't have no money. They said, we're going to have to go raise some money, have a car wash. We're like, that ain't going to work. We said, a person that got in that group later, his name was Anthony or Tony Newsom. Tony Newsom said, you know what was bad? Black Resurgence against the Black Messengers. And we was like, yeah, I mean, we already knew we were rivals, but we didn't think about, that was the first time we come up with the marketing plan to make some money, some real serious money. We gave a show at Castleman High School, 1975, November. Black Messengers versus the Black Resurgence. Our band against their band, group against group, two routines, and man against man. We sold tickets at every high school in Oakland, at every junior high school in Oakland, sold out 2 times over. There were so many people that they couldn't let everybody in. And the people that couldn't get in tore MacArthur up. They didn't have no more talent shows in Oakland for 10 to 15 years after that. That's not a good thing. I'm just saying that was the popularity of the group evolved.
And they was on the roof too.
Well.
So yeah, when you started talking to me and you asked me the question, here it is. This is what I come up under watching them. Yeah, my brother.
Jerry Rente.
That's where I learned how to start dancing from.
Anyway, Jerry,
he used to do the Boogaloo.
Jerry did the
I learned the Boogaloo, but then
once I learned the robot, he's out from San Francisco when he came to Oakland in the 60s. His group started in the late 60s, 71. They did a couple of talent shows. They never won first place. Because back then in the talent shows, the only people that could win were the singer group or the band. Dancers were the tap dancers, ballet, and all that. We was little, doing what the big kids was doing. Jerry and I was a little kid, 14 years old, 13, 14 years old. Jerry was in his 20s. But because I was doing what I was doing, we was doing little kids, everybody gravitated towards that. We won third place. After that, we started getting uniforms and being sharp and stuff. As you can see, I done changed clothes 3 times I've been out here. That's at the park. That's what I get at. My whole group, right now, you got one in Vegas with the Temptations. You got one in San Diego doing, you got one in Dallas. My brother's in Palo Alto. I'm here. James Miller came out here today. But, and as far as group stuff, right, we all could dance, individually cool. But the first group thing we ever did was, as a group stepping, right? So you put your kids. You have to start putting choreography together, real choreography. And the reason for that is because the club owners, once we started, we win a talent show, now we want to make money doing this. It's very popular. So the club owners say, or the promoters would say, oh, we can get you guys on the show. We was opening up for all kinds of acts. In 1978, Parliament Funkadelic came to Oakland with the mothership. They didn't go get the Black Resurgence. They didn't go get anybody else. They came and got the Black Resurgence. We performed with them at the Coliseum with the mothership on flashlight, and then we had the flashlight, all 7 of them. The next month, Boosie came to our job, got us off of our job to come to the concert. The next month, we did the Cool Jazz Festival with BBQ, Gladys Knight and Fifth, the OJs, the Daz Band. This is the real. And in 1978, not the promoter, we started promoting ourselves. Don't get me wrong, in 77 they did the Gong Show. Great. That was on TV in LA. That's fine. We had already done the Soul Is show, was like Soul Train, but it was done in the Bay Area. We had a Don Cornelius up here. His name was Jay Payton.
Is that the show you were telling me about? That's that show you about the San Jose show that preceded Soul Train you were telling me about?
It was San Francisco. Oh, San Francisco Soul Is. See, Soul Train came out of Chicago and went to LA. When everybody migrated to LA, they went down there. When Motown moved to LA, Don Cornelius picked up Soul Train, took it down there with Shabadoo. You know who Shabadoo Quinones is? Okay. Shabadoo and all them cats. And now let me tell you the story about the Electric Boogaloo. Because the Electric Boogaloo are from Fresno, California. John Murphy and all the hikers. John Murphy was a Fremont Tiger. He was the mascot of Fremont, the tiger that danced the tiger head. But Larry Robertson, who was in our group, also went to Fremont, and he beat John, but he didn't came to our school, to Calpamont. So John became the Fremont Tiger. Anyway, during the Fresno relays, all the high schools up here, everywhere else in the state, would go down there and take the bands and the cheerleaders and everybody. And so, as part of the halftime entertainment, they'd have the Boogaloos out there doing their thing, or the mascots doing their thing. That's where Sam first saw Boogaloo and being done. Then he had cousins and stuff up here. I'm talking about 73, 74, 75. He came up here. The EBs didn't really start until 1977. This is the story. The Black Resurgence signed a record contract with Honey Records in the Bay Area. We were on tour with the Whispers, who at the time were working in the Bay Area and all over the state. They signed a record contract with Soul Train Records that became Solar Records with Don Cornelius and Dick Griffin. They were going to do a video for their record. So they said we want to use some dancers. They didn't want to use the lockers. The lockers were real big. But they had they didn't disband, but Rerun was on TV. The Robot was gone. Tony Basil had come in. The other boy was gone. One of the other guys was gone. And so the EBs were down in the LA area doing their thing. They had appeared on Soul Train doing their version of Boogaloo, but it wasn't really Boogaloo when it was popular. At any rate, the Whispers went down there to do the Whispers told Don Cornelius we want to use the Black Resurgence because they're with us. We're touring with them. Don Cornelius, Dick Griffey said, we're not going to fly some kids from up the Bay Area down here to dance. We got a whole show full of dancers, which is right, they did. And the EBs were doing similar to us. And if you see that routine with them wearing the black and silver and the white, those are our uniforms. That silver and black, we did that in 1976. We had silver tails, silver top hats, black pants, black vest, white shirts, black bow ties, and black shoes.
That was like the Raiders?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you can't front. There ain't no,
ain't no denying that.
Right.
And that's before 81,
right.
That when the Raiders came to LA.
Right.
So anyway, that's the real story. The Whispers used them in the video. And but the good thing about it is before they went down there to do that, the Whispers were choreographed. Their stepping routine was choreographed by the Black Resurgence. And if you ask Nick, who is the big Nick, that's the choreographer for the Whispers, who's the performer with the Whispers right now, or Scotty, or Walt, they'll tell you, or LaVelle, they'll tell you, them Black Resurgence fellas, them is the steppingest little something we ever met. That's the real story.
Y'all got jacked.
In 1978, that's cool. All right. In 1978, we promoted, along with some other people, the Ali Sphinx Third Coming in New Orleans. I got the poster. The Black Resurgence took Donna Summers, Richard Pryor, Lenny Williams, Sereno, what's Sereno's name, and one other brother, Ricardo Scales. We took them to New Orleans. We took them, not they took us, we took them to New Orleans. Made $100 grand. That's the real story. In 1981, our producer, Harvey Fuqua, went to Texas, found a guy by the name of Eric Bishop, took him to LA. Eric Bishop is a keyboard player. Two of the boys to the Black Resurgence, Ricky Gant, Victor White, played bass and guitar. Took them to LA. The three of them became Rev, Ricky, Eric, and Victor. Eric Bishop was a comedian too. It's the real story. They said, well, you can't use your name at the comedy club, so who's your favorite comedian? Red Fox. He said, what's the name? He said, I'd like to be called Jamie. That's where Jamie Foxx got his name, and ask Jamie Foxx about the Black Resurgence.
I've heard that story.
That's a real story. Not only that, MC Hammer, who my boy Frosty Freeze went on tour with,
right.
MC Hammer the Black Messengers rehearsed on one street. There was a fifth in an apartment. They worked the backyard. Over the fifth was Larry Robinson's backyard. So we preparing for talent shows. They'd be one side of the fence, we'd be on the other side of the fence, preparing. Okay. MC Hammer lived down the hill. He'd come up the hill and sit and watch us all the time. So when he got his chance, hey cousin, this is James Miller, by the way. Okay. James Miller is the original Black Resurgence.
Okay.
I'm Elmhurst Junior High School.
I am the creator. I am the one that started this.
He started the dance part. I named the group.
Well, he named the group, but you know, I started.
Yeah, James.
Okay.
And can he move after? He can do a little something. He got a little something.
Can't do nothing.
Yeah, you can. Ain't gonna hurt. You can do a little something. James, do a little something. You can do.
Yeah. I mean, this stuff, but I can do better than that.
That's James Miller.
It's still good to see that OG's got it, man.
Yeah, I can still do better than that, but I'm out.
Okay, man. That's the real story.
Nice to meet you.
I'm the creator.
Okay.
When Africa Bambaataa, Tracy Bartlow, who's a dancer from here, who went to New York, danced with Alvin Ailey, knows about the hip-hop scene in the LA area, in the New York area, came here. They had a radio interview. We had Africa Bambaataa on the phone with me, with Tracy, and my brother that's in our group, that took his place, named Ricky Gant. Take care, Doc. And Ricky Gant, we all, in our conversation, we were talking about, we're not hip-hop. We're the day before hip-hop. Okay? When hip-hop got started, we was already doing this out here. The dance element of the five fingers of hip-hop, if you will, which is breaking or b-boying, right?
Go to
DJ, NFT, graffiti.
Right. When Poppin got involved in that mix, Popping is a term that came out of the West Coast. But the dance in the West Coast, in LA, you had locking. Everything else came from the Bay Area. Everything else. Boogaloo, robot, and strut are the predecessors for popping. Fresno took the popping, which is basically Boogaloo and robot and strut, and watered down because people pop. It's a double hit, basically, and it's to create that illusion of hitting hard. Because up in the Bay, you catch muscle contract, and they be hitting, for real, hitting. Bam! Bam! If you look at him, or any of the Messenger boys, they're hitting it, and that's where they're rooting. But anyway, that's popping thing. That's how popping got started. From Boogaloo and robot and strut. Okay. Boogaloo out of Oakland, robot out of Richmond, strutting out of San Francisco. That's the way the story goes.
Wait, robot came out of Richmond?
Actually, that's the style that the Richmond picked up on and made big in there. It was all hand movements. Yes, we call it robot. It ain't really robot. It's just a bunch of hand movements. I gotta go get in this picture. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Hey!
See, I don't say nothing because he be mixing stuff up. I just let him run his mouth, you know, because they want to say one thing, but if you go and ask, Chuck, do you know Chuck? Chucky?
No, I don't think I saw Chucky.
We used to beat them all the time. Yeah, I don't say nothing because we just gonna go back and forth.
Then it turns into 0-1 in the battle again.
Yeah, just like the robot, they was Boogaloo. They didn't robot. They didn't robot at all.
Candyman Dan.
Candyman Dan.
You teach him?
Yeah, I showed Dan how to move.
Yeah, you know Dan.
I show so many people, man, and then when I'm dancing, there's so many people watching me robot and stuff, man, they just picked it up.
This is the gentleman that OG Poppin' Mike,
Yeah. I started the robot. I started the robot. I ain't started Boogaloo, but I started the robot. When I left from out West Oakland, like I was saying, went to East Oakland, they was doing all that stuff, right? I said, I got stuff for them, you know. But see, it sometimes be a problem because they don't want to say, oh, a person from West Oakland came to East Oakland. Hell, we all dancers, you know what I'm saying? We should just be able to get along. But sometimes they hate on me, man. They was hating on me so bad. Even some of the guys in my own group, man. They won't even tell you. They ain't gonna tell you the truth. They ain't gonna tell you where they got the robot from. See, because they wasn't robot, they was Boogaloo. Exotic movement. The original robot. They was Boogaloo. Chuck, and the group he was in, they used to Boogaloo. Before he came to the Black Messenger. When he came to the Black Messenger, the domino came from me. We would practice, we were doing it, trying to show them how to do it. Then once they learned how to do it, got on stage, that's why the resurgence couldn't hang with us. The guy you just got to talking to, that's why he couldn't hang with us, because we brought something else. They were steppers. But when people was in the audience and they see us doing a domino, they say, I'll be damned. Then everybody picks it up. Then you see some of the other dancers, they go fast with it though. They're going fast doing it. But the same style though. Except we did a domino. But they going fast though. Media Circus, Demons of the Mind, Derek and Company, Gas Control. And I dance with different groups though. I ain't just dance with the Messenger. You heard Derek? Yeah, Derek. Derek? Yeah. Pop Patrol told me a lot about it. Me, Derek, and Noah went to Richmond Auditorium. Yeah, me, Derek, and Noah went to Richmond Auditorium and took first place. You heard the Cream Machine? Nah. Bunch of girls? Yeah, I did that from Richmond. We made them look so crazy. Derek Incorporated. Did you battle Boogaloo Salmon in Sacramento? Oh, I never danced against people. You know why? I'll tell you one reason. I ain't no good with it. If I'm like this, you dancing, I can't dance that way. But if you put me on that stage by myself, I'm going to tear it up. Because I know about the historic battle between Derek Incorporated and Boogaloo Sam. Boogaloo Sam, okay. They tried to say they invented sacking. Right. Sacking, but if Derek Incorporated word for sacking, so why would they call it sacking? Right? Right.
Did they say they invented the word of the dance and then sack?
I'll let you know there's a lot to it, brother.
Yeah, because you could say one thing and there could be like 5 or 6 different angles on that when the truth's in there somewhere.
I'm going to let you know. Because for one thing, they said they battled Derek Incorporated in Sacramento. And they said they were doing a style called Sacking. But Derek Incorporated wasn't from Sacramento. They're from the Bay.
Yeah.
So why would they call it Sacking?
Yeah.
No, that story don't hold up.
Right. They are from the Bay.
Yeah.
Unless they talk like sacking groceries.
Oh.
I don't know. How you gonna spin that one? I don't know.
Yeah, but you see me on YouTube?
No, I haven't even seen you on YouTube.
Go to Oakland Boogaloo on YouTube and look for John Murphy. Oakland Boogaloo, John Murphy, and you'll see me. I put a video out. I put that video out because when I was coming here, I can't move on the ground, right? So I put a video out so they could see me, see how I was moving back then. But back then, I had so many moves doing the robot. I had moves. I was so bad when the center, you know, you go to the center, they have a dancing contest. When I was there, they didn't want to dance. That's how bad I was.
They asked you to judge, right?
Oh no. They just gave me the gift. You know, because there wasn't nobody else going to dance. They knew not to dance. I went to Alameda. I went to San Francisco. I went to Richmond. I went to East Oakland. I started here, though.
Yeah. Because Richmond, they do a lot of robots.
Yeah.
But you started
it just spread just like that. I mean, damn. Now, if that's in my, one of the messages, if he told the truth, and say where he got the robot from, he ain't gonna tell you. See, cause I'm from West Oakland.
West Oakland. Yeah.
They don't want to say somebody came from West Oakland with the East Oakland who was doing the robot.
Everybody knows you.
Because all you have to do, this is how you can tell though. Listen to the interview, and they would never say that they started the robot. They don't never say they started the robot. They gonna always say somebody else did, but they never say they did. Even them. They didn't robot.
No, I talked to somebody else today that did say they seen a cartoon and they said they seen like some old sci-fi movie. I don't remember. I talked to so many people. I'll go back and listen to it and I'll let you know who said that before we even say anything.
Oh yeah, because animation from like Sinbad, Jason the Argonaut, Clash of the Titans. There was animation like.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's possible someone sat in a living room and came up with the same idea, but they ain't pioneered it or moved it.
They were doing the Sinbad. They were doing that, you know, that dinosaur stuff. I ain't do no dinosaur stuff. I did straight robot. I was just straight robot.
Okay.
Oh,
You almost had it.
You almost had me. I ain't going in the water for you, bro. Okay.
Don't let that wind blow your head in the water.